Have you ever watched your whole world collapse through a crack in a door? I saw mine reflected in the screen of my wife's phone, a tiny sliver of blue light in our darkened Chicago bedroom. It was 2 a.m. Her back was to me, but the angle of the phone in her hand was just enough. I saw his name, Marcus, glowing under a message that read, "Can't stop thinking about the hotel. You are incredible." Amelia, my wife of 10 years, typed back a single devastating emoji, a devil smiling. She thought I was asleep. She thought I was oblivious. She thought I was the same loyal, trusting fool she'd married. But in the cold glow of that screen, a part of me I didn't know existed began to wake up, and it was already planning. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The betrayal didn't start with a bang. It was a slow, creeping poison. It began with the late nights at her marketing firm, the ones she said were for a major Q3 launch. Then came the new perfume, a musky, expensive scent that wasn't the light floral I'd bought her for our anniversary. Her phone, once left carelessly on the kitchen counter, was now permanently attached to her hand, screen down. When I'd walk into the room, she'd snap it shut, a flicker of annoyance crossing her face before being replaced by a saccharine smile. "Just work, honey," she'd say, her voice a little too bright. This project is a killer. I was the one being killed, slowly, one lie at a time. The humiliation was a physical weight. I'd sit across from her at dinner in our Lincoln Park brownstone, the one I'd poured my savings into, and see a stranger. She'd talk about her day, but her eyes were distant, unfocused, probably replaying moments from hers. The discovery was a series of gut punches. A credit card receipt for $200 at the Peninsula's bar, dated on a night she was supposedly working late. I found it tucked into the pocket of her winter coat. When I asked her about it, she didn't even blink. "Oh, that was a client dinner? We had to impress them?" She was so smooth, so practiced. The coldness was the worst part. The woman who used to curl into my side on the couch now sat rigidly on the opposite end. Her touch became functional, a quick peck on the cheek, a sterile pat on the arm. She was a ghost in our home, and I was the one haunting it. One evening, I overheard her on the phone in the bathroom, the door not quite latched. Her voice was low, seductive, a tone I hadn't heard in years. "I miss you too, Marcus," she whispered. "He has no idea. He's too trusting." The words hit me like a physical blow. I backed away from the door, my heart hammering against my ribs, the air sucked from my lungs. In that moment, they felt untouchable, wrapped in their bubble of deceit, laughing at the fool paying their mortgage. That night, I broke. I drove down Lakeshore Drive, the city lights blurring through my tears. The man I was, the loving, devoted husband, died on that stretch of road. I pulled over the vast, dark expanse of Lake Michigan to my right, and I let out a scream that was raw and animalistic. It was the sound of a decade of love and trust being torn to shreds. When the tears finally stopped, something else took their place. Ice, cold, hard, strategic ice. The broken man was gone. The man who drove back to that brownstone was a predator. My revenge began with a burner phone and a new email address. I became a digital phantom. I hired a private investigator, a grizzled ex-cop, who operated out of a dusty office in the Loop. He was expensive, but worth every penny. For 3 weeks, he followed her. The photos he sent to my encrypted email were clinical, brutal, and exactly what I needed. Amelia and Marcus, laughing as they left a restaurant on Rush Street. Amelia and Marcus, kissing in the shadow of a parking garage near his office. And the kill shot. Amelia and Marcus, silhouetted in the window of a room at the Thompson Hotel, their embrace unmistakable. I saved every image, every receipt, every text message. I managed to clone from her cloud backup. I was building an arsenal. Amelia was on the cusp of a huge promotion, a vice president role at a major competitor. She'd been interviewing for weeks, bragging about how she was a shoo-in. Her new boss, a woman named Eleanor Vance, was a notorious stickler for ethics and public image. I found her professional address online. I also knew Amelia had been funneling money from our joint savings account into a private one. It was a slow, methodical bleed. A few $100s here, 1,000 there. She was building an escape hatch. I contacted my lawyer, a shark in a three-piece suit, and we began the meticulous process of separating my finances. Documenting her theft and preparing the divorce papers, the trap was being set. The day before her new job was set to be announced, I made my move. I printed the sharpest, most damning photos in high gloss, 8 by 10. The kiss in the parking garage. The embrace at the hotel. I placed them in a crisp, manila envelope. I didn't write a note. The pictures spoke for themselves. I mailed one envelope to Eleanor Vance at her corporate headquarters via overnight courier, marked personal and confidential. I mailed a second one to Marcus's wife, whose address the PI had easily acquired. The final act was for Amelia. That evening, she came home buzzing with excitement. They're announcing it tomorrow. Can you believe it, honey? She leaned in to kiss me, and I didn't flinch. I let her do it, the last kiss of a dead marriage. I'm so proud of you, I said, my voice even. The next morning I was gone. I had packed a single bag. When she woke up, she found my wedding ring on my pillow, next to a single 8 by 10 photo of her and Marcus in the hotel window. On the back, I had written just 5 words. I know you're not blind. Her phone started ringing at 9:01 a.m. It was Eleanor Vance. I can only imagine the cold, clipped tone as she rescinded the job offer. Then came the call from Marcus's hysterical, screaming wife. Then came the notification from the bank that our joint accounts were frozen. And finally at noon, the courier arrived at our front door and served her with divorce papers, complete with a detailed accounting of her theft and a petition for full reimbursement and punitive damages. She was ruined, socially, professionally, financially, utterly and completely. I don't live in Chicago anymore. Moved to a quiet town on the coast, a place where the ocean washes everything away. Sometimes late at night, I pull up her social media profiles through an anonymous viewer. Her accounts are all private now. The vibrant, arrogant woman is gone, replaced by a digital ghost. The brownstone was sold to cover the legal fees and the money she owed me. She lost everything because she thought I couldn't see. The truth is, I see it all, every single night when I close my eyes.